Welcome, everyone. My name is Ilva Tare. I'm a non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Europe Center. This is Balkans Debrief. When Chancellor Scholz mentioned relaunching of the Berlin process this year, the news was widely welcomed in the Western Balkans. Having Germany back in town, as they say in the region, is seen as a good omen for the revival of European integration and enlargement. Manuel Sarrazin is the German special representative for the Western Balkan countries. Thank you for joining Balkans Debrief, Mr. Sarrazin.
Hi.
What will the relaunched Berlin process bring to the table for the Western Balkan EU integration, and how will it be different this time around?
So the first and important message is that the Berlin process means there's a clear German and Berlin friends and partners commitment for the European path of the Western Balkan Six. The new traffic light coalition government in Germany has posed that Western Balkans is one of the top priorities of our Europe and foreign policy approach. And the reinvigoration of the Berlin process is one part of this. Germany is trying to play a role on the European path of the Western Balkans, and we try to bring our efforts and our power as a European member state to facilitate this process. Second is that you all know that some of the topics which have been raised in the Berlin process so far had some success, some really good success, but also some have been somehow getting into some loose ends. And so we want on the one hand give a new push and reinvigorate with new ideas and new topics, but to a certain extent also try to bind together loose ends, take again up things which haven't been finished yet, and pursue them further. And this, of course, all in the light of a current crisis, which is not only the war in Ukraine, but also the energy crisis, and to a certain extent also food crisis hitting Europe, but also the Western Balkans in a special manner.
Mr. Sarrazin, a common regional market and the four freedoms are at the heart of the Berlin process. And some of those freedoms are the freedom of movements with ID cards, recognition of diplomas, and so on. The last time around, negotiations broke down in Sofia, largely on differences between Serbia and Kosovo. Are you optimistic about some kind of breakthrough in November's summit?
Well, we have to see that the common regional market is not only a crucial point for integration in the region, it's also a major step for speeding up EU integration and cohesion of the single market. And it's in a situation that today getting something done there is like a magical key to a lot of locks, to European lock, but also to locks in the region. And it can especially delock investment and give a positive signal to business community and foreign direct investment in circumstances where exactly this is needed. So we are convinced that it is possible to reach something with the goodwill of the partners, to get this again on the track and to get the train also running. Because everybody is positive about Berlin process. Everybody is positive about common regional market. So let's do it. And also because times need such messages. And I think this is something which is well known in all six capitals.
You are optimistic that something may be done in the summit?
Well, we do this as a record. So tonight is the football match, the derby in Hamburg, and I'm optimistic that my team will win until hopefully the last minute of the match. So I'm always optimistic. If you don't try to reach things, then you already failed. If you're not optimistic that you can get Western Balkan 6 on one page, then why should I do my job, right?
But what are your main takeaways from talking to Serbian President Vučić and the Prime Minister of Kosovo, Kurti?
I think there's the political will on both sides to get step further existing. This is my takeaway. And this is one of the reasons why I'm hopeful. It's not only German Zweck optimism. This might be also helpful to sometimes have Zweck optimism, but I think it's even a bit more.
So are the negotiations heated with them, with both sides, or there is common ground to work on a possible breakthrough?
No, it's not a bilateral negotiation or trilateral negotiation. We are sitting at a table with all 6 Western Balkan states, with the European Commission, with CEFTA. So this is the situation it is, and I think this is also a chance, to see the region not only in the light of the Pristina-Belgrade questions and conflicts, but to see the region also as one part of bringing all 6 together. And we have the clear approach that we want all 6 to be treated equal and to have things done which are handling all 6 in the same manner. On the other hand, we are not trying to solve the dialogue, the normalization dialogue question in this process, or other topics which are of other processes. So this is a hand-in-hand approach also.
So also about the 6 Western Balkan countries, they have one common problem, which is brain drain, and creates not only a demographic problem, but as well as a vacuum that is difficult to fill, especially in young democracies. Is Berlin Process 2.0 planning to address this issue and provide tailored programs for youth and professionals?
So on the one hand, if we manage out to get a common regional market on track, this is of course a good news for reducing barriers for economical actors in the region, and also good news for foreign direct investment into the region, which can help creating jobs which are interesting for young, well-educated people to stay in the region. But also the exchange of workforce for such investments in the region can be one reason why companies decide to allocate in the region and not at other places. So I think for sure that getting common regional market on track is one important signal to that. And of course, it's in the way that we also have other ideas. There is the German purchasing initiative, which is always bringing together German firms, European firms with firms from the region, and trying to, make more awareness in the German business community that you can have good products, your product chain well equipped with products and professions from the region. So we don't not only want to have like the youngsters coming to us and producing the goods here, we want to have the Western Balkans better integrated in the work chain and in the value added chain of our companies as well. And the purchasing initiative is one, I think, great example for our try to also do that. But I think in general, the most important message to young people is if we get a credible enlargement prospect and getting things done in the region, so that they hope that things will change, perhaps not tomorrow, but perhaps the day after or the day after the day after tomorrow, but in a certain time outlook. I think this is the major answer. Berlin Process is not going to organize like specific programs to hold youngsters in the region, because it's also clear that, of course, people are searching for their luck at the place where they think they have the best chance to. We are trying to foster the economical groundings for people being able to find their luck in your region.
And also, they're seeking for hope that things are back in track and democracy is working and institutions are strong and working towards EU integration. If the November summit is a success, and by the tone of your voice, there is hope, I guess, for some positive results, what are the challenges if there is a common regional market deal?
Well, first, I'm trying to raise expectation also because this is making the probability to reach a success higher, because then it's more difficult to not deliver a success for everybody, right? Second, of course, it's important if we reach something to also be good on implementation and to not stop working together on the 3rd of November. So if we reach a way going a step forwards together, we should try to sustain the spirit and the constructive atmosphere, and trying to also make sure that the implementation is followed in a good manner and that we stay on that track. And I would be personally committed also to do that.
Mr. Sarrazin, does Open Balkan has any role if common regional market is adopted?
Yes, probably. We
How do
will
you
see.
see the two initiatives, the Berlin process and the Open Balkan initiative? Do you think that they can merge or they can go separate ways? What's your view on it?
Well, first, and this is what I was talking throughout the last months in general, with quite personal conviction. I mean, of course, regional cooperation, integration of economics should always be inclusive and include all 6 countries. Because for the simple reason that this is, of course, achieving the biggest economical benefit. And the second is that it should have a clear basis that it's in line or even beneficial for EU acquis approaching and EU standards. And we believe common regional market is the right way to do so. If other initiatives are having the same standards, why should one be against? But this is a measurement to be taken on there. But frankly, I also think like we should not talk so much negatively about the other guys, the other initiatives. They are doing bad. I have a feeling that it's the best if you deliver on your home ground and you try to fix the points at your doorstep and you do your job instead of looking at others who are doing a job and starting criticizing and having general debates that they shouldn't or stuff. And I think really that common regional market can be something which is positive for everybody and not against anything, and delivering answers in a beautiful, positive way instead of trying to talk bad about others. So I really believe that everybody of the Western Balkan 6, with also different approaches on regional integration, can have a benefit of a success of the summit with our approach. And this is not harming nor the either or other side.
Will Berlin process work to ensure the EU aligned foreign policy in all 6 Western Balkan countries? And I hope you understand my question, especially after Serbia signing with Russia at UN General Assembly in New York about aligning the foreign policy.
I mean, our expectations towards Serbia are clear, and they're grounded on what we have commonly agreed and subscribed in the SAA and the Stabilization Association Agreement between the European Union and Serbia. And it's also our clear conviction in the German government that Serbia committed itself for further aligning with the CSFP, and what we see since the 24th of February is the opposite. This is not okay, and we expect them to behave different. But frankly, I don't expect that on 4th of November, President Vucic will make a grand turnaround in this question. I mean, there's some different, like always from Serbian foreign policies, you get different messages. You had the signing of this cooperation or consultation agreement at the outsides of the Yanga, and now you had the voting in this week on the question of the annexations, the so-called annexations done by Russia. We should be clear and honest to Serbia and also the Serbian and the European public opinion on that, and clearly state that we have different opinions and that it's not okay what Serbia is doing there. But I would not make this as the value point or the point to measure a success of Berlin process or not.
Mr. Sarrazin, thank you for sharing with us your views and what your work you're doing on the Berlin Process Summit. And I really hope that that magic happens and the game is won by all, I guess, EU, Germany, and the Western Balkan countries.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching us. You can follow us in Twitter at AC Europe. You can watch on YouTube and as a podcast.